In White Supremacy. We've already had spirited conversations.
Oh, man.
Debates before the mics even came on. Yeah, we need to do a pre-show. Like, we need to put it on Patreon, and like, if you subscribe, you get the pre-show hijinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe. We'll see. I'm just serious. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And in front of me, it's a miracle. I thought that was my.
Oh yeah. We need to get like prophetic sounds for you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, miracle, please.
It's your girl, Miracle, aka Big Blessing with the big blessings, aka apparently I need to get a different sound bite, different ringtone, because that too is being co-opted by a man. But other than that, I'm here, turned up on a Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Yes. And my brother.
Hey, man. Estoy felicidad para mi gente.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy here with my people. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently, brother, only 40 million people can understand that. 300 million didn't know what you were saying.
So yo creo que un día llegará. Y tú sabes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, no sé what to tell you.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes. And you are repping Canada.
Yeah, listen, Winter Olympics, Canada time. This is when we dominate. You know what I mean? You even heard man like Bad Bunny shout out Canada during the halftime show.
That's because there's really no black people there.
Yo.
It's like 5 black people. I'm sorry. We've been arguing all morning. You got to swing on me.
You on Black History Month? That's what we're doing? What did Harriet say was the promised land?
What did she say?
Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, man. My bad. I learned something new. The promised land. Canada. Can I get another promise? Can I get a promise of some beaches and some and some palm trees? Canada don't have none of them.
The Nova Scotia was not. It was not what you dreamt of.
We've been suffering these cold temperatures. Now we gotta go to Canada.
He said they didn't have Googles. Okay, all they had was a dream and a vision. Okay, now that we know better, we need to redirect.
Please come back to the show.
Can we not read it? Well, I mean, manifest something different.
We started here. We might as well start with Benito Bowl. He did mention, Bad Bunny did mention Canada and mentioned all of the Latin American countries and the Caribbean countries too, Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad. Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
The Bad Bunny Super Bowl was the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever. Surpassed Kendrick's.
Surpassed Michael Jackson.
Right. Rolling Stones rated it the second best Super Bowl halftime show of all time. Obviously, nothing will ever surpass Prince.
Yeah, I would
in
say
the rain, in Hills, doing Purple Rain.
Yeah. Was Michael Jackson not a performer during the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to get clarification.
Prince.
I just want to get clarification.
The fact that it rained and he did Purple Rain.
Okay.
Well,
is he not a performer? Is he not supposed to be outside in the rain?
Well, they were worried that everybody was going to get electrocuted.
Okay, and
context.
You have to provide
context. Heels on, a slick stage.
If you have to provide context.
Anyway, we're not going to disrespect Prince.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
And we're not going to erase Michael Jackson.
Right. I said Michael Jackson.
Prince,
first of all, pipe down.
I said Michael Jackson.
Pipe down.
See, we can't get Farouk turned up before the show even starts.
But Michael Jackson movie is coming out, and I am requiring everybody to dress up as Michael, as their favorite Michael for the Michael Jackson premiere.
Can I dress up as Michael when he dressed up as an Arab woman and to hide from people?
And that is why we need a new dream, because clearly Canada, something is wrong over there. All right.
If I turn the corner and see Farouk in that.
I'm gonna wear a hijab and everything.
You know what? It was.
I'm done. Ramadan camp.
I'm gonna come out in the burqa and everything, man.
I think that's a wonderful idea. The Michael Jackson movie trailer is amazing. Yeah. However, the current conversation was about Bad Bunny.
I have multiple takes.
Okay, and Bad Bunny Super Bowl, and I just put it into context. Obviously, white people were very, very upset because Bad Bunny did not speak English during the Super Bowl.
And there was a couple people who were super tight.
Right. And it doesn't matter that Bad Bunny is one of the highest streaming artists in the world. It doesn't matter that he produced this album that was this connection between modern music, Puerto Rico, that he was, utilizing his music and his platform to bring all of these different cultures collectively together, that he went and did his residency in Puerto Rico, bought 400 million to a country that desperately needs it. So all of these good things that he has done did not matter, because to these white folks, the only thing that mattered was that this was not in English, and therefore they couldn't understand it. And it didn't matter that he's an American. I saw a thing that they were like they were like, Donald Trump's family got here in 1920. His family has been in America, again, considering Puerto Rico America.
Can I say something about that real fast? So my man, we both know Shot King. He posted up something that I thought was super important.
Can you just put Shot King into context?
I thought you said Sean King, and I was like,
no. So Shot King, Allah Sehum, is a brother from the 5% Nation here in Pittsburgh, a very prolific brother.
And he's Puerto Rican?
He's Puerto Rican.
Okay,
yeah, he's Puerto Rican. He's a super knowledgeable guy. But he posted this on social media, and I asked him to share it. And he said that the U.S. occupied Puerto Rico in 1898, but they weren't made citizens until 1918 with the Jones-Shawforth Act. The touting but Puerto Ricans are Americans ignores our struggle against imperialism and for independence. And a great read to start would be The War Against All Puerto Ricans by Nelson Dennis.
Dope.
So I thought that context was like super dope that he provided.
Very cool. And then one of the things that I did not know until recently was that the flag that Bad Bunny carried was actually the Puerto Rican flag of independence.
Right.
Like
there's two different ones. Yeah.
Right. That the blue was a different color, and that flag was actually banned at one point because it represented Puerto Rican independence. So again, a lot of subversive things and outward things that Bad Bunny did, but he definitely made sure to connect this show to like Puerto Rican culture. At one point, I guess there was an older woman who he drank something from during his walk, and they said she operates the last Puerto Rican social club in New York City. I think Totina is her name. So he was doing a lot of things, including, he had a couple get married. He had the boxers.
Yeah, Xanazias there, which was crazy. Yeah.
So I definitely thought that it was a powerful display of, and before I turn it over to Miracle and her takes, I think it's also like shows like how we've kind of turned this corner in terms of this like total embrace of like white supremacy mind state, because coming up in America, this was what America was supposed to be. Like I was always told that America was this place where you could celebrate your own culture inside of America, right?
Right.
He had an American flag as well. He said, God bless America, and all of those things that you want to say, but he's celebrating his own culture. A culture would exist inside of America, but their whole thing has been, particularly lately, has been if you don't assimilate, if you don't fully like fuck your culture and fuck whatever culture you grew up on, you have to.
They wanted to be friends.
We're right. They want us to take that away, and they want us to totally assimilate into quote unquote American culture and not celebrate our own culture as a part of the American experience. And one of the things that makes that we were taught that made America great was it was this melting pot, and you could experience all of these different cultures inside of this one place. And everybody's culture was recognized, and everybody had the freedom to do that. Now they don't want you to have the freedom of religion, because they want all Muslims to leave. They don't want you to have the freedom of, we black people never really had the freedom of assembly, but they don't want you to have the freedom of, the First Amendment rights of just expressing yourself and your culture. They want you to completely assimilate into American culture. But if you're going to do that, you probably should give a better example than Kid Rock. If that's the alternative, Kid Rock, you probably should try to find somebody else. Miracle, you have a lot of takes on the Super Bowl halftime show. Please,
I'm gonna start good and work.
Regale us with your takes.
We'll start high and then go low. First of all, I loved it. I love the sugar canes. I love the workers. I love the diversity. I love the Afro Puerto Ricans. I just loved like it being in Spanish. I loved everything. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was timely. I did not think it was about ICE. I thought it was about the people of Puerto Rico. to which Bad Bunny has been advocating, independence for a long time. White supremacy. Why was Lady Gaga in my Bad Bunny bowl? There were so many Puerto Ricans, so many reggaeton, so many people who could have been in that spot. So I didn't like that. I didn't want Mark Anthony, but Ricky Martin, yes, love, love, love. I thought that him naming all of the Americas and being like, this is what America is, was great. Except for the fact that, like, that's also what Donald Trump has said, is like, one America, and also we're taking Greenland. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want like colonialism and imperialism, but also I do think that we have to recognize that, like, the United States of America is not America. Like, there is North America, there is South America, there is Latin America. All of that makes up the Americas. And so I was wrestling with that tension of, like, naming, like, all of these places, because it's like, is it that we're, like, all America and we're all, united as, being in this region? Or are we signaling that this is what Donald Trump should be, like, in charge of and king of? So that was one of the things, like, I was wrestling with. I also did think that it wasn't as political as people suggested. There's a difference between being political and making a statement, and then being political just by our existence. Right? I do believe in the bell hooks, like,
amazing.
Our identities are political and the personal is political. But I don't think that, like, Bad Bunny just showing and showcasing Puerto Rican life was political, right? If he had actually had people who were deported, or the indigenous folks who had been deported, in his Super Bowl, right? If he had actually had, like, an ICE officer falling off of the truck, something, right? You're not gonna. So it wasn't actually political. It wasn't. You remember how, like, that one year at the BET Awards, and everybody was, like, making videos of, like, the police getting stomped out or the police killing. Like, it wasn't that, right? And I think that, like,
even last year, where and again, you could argue a similar thing about Kendrick, but that brother crashed the set, and he had the flags,
the Palestinian Sudan and free Gaza,
right? The Sudan flag and the Palestinian, but it wasn't that either,
right? And so
they was gonna make sure none of that happened again.
Facts. But I do think that, like, particularly when it's the first, we try to, because white supremacy tries to attack things, that we try to make them more political than they are. Yes,
true.
Him being Puerto Rican was, being the first was different. Yes, him speaking in Spanish, but people in Puerto Rico speak Spanish. Most of his albums are in Spanish, yes. Right? So him just singing in Spanish wasn't, as political as people try to make them out. If you watch his concerts, we saw him in Made in America.
We did.
It was in Spanish, right? So this idea that it was the first Spanish Super Bowl was not as political as we were trying to make it. And I do think that is something that, like, particularly as people of color and Black people of the global majority, we cannot sit there and be like, oh, because it is a person who is not white, therefore it is inherently political.
Right.
Because then we are othering ourselves, and we shouldn't do that.
True. And I think, I agree with you. And like you said, particularly, like, his mere existence, like doing a show in all Spanish in this time, in light of what all is happening, in light of particularly, like, Spanish speaking people being attacked and brutalized and deported, whether they're U.S. citizens or not, is in itself a political thing. However, like you said, if once you choose Bad Bunny, this is what you're going to get. It wasn't like he made a decision. It wasn't like he had, like, 50% songs in English and 50% songs in Spanish, and then he made a decision, I'm only going to speak in this. So you make a great point about that. Just about Lady Gaga, Bad Bunny said that that part of his connection to Lady Gaga was his cousin who did drag shows. And he said, he would come to my house so I could make all his mixes. He explained choreography to me. They were all Lady Gaga songs. And so he spoke about, like, this connection he had, a connection he
irrelevant, because I wanted it to be, like, all Puerto Ricans. I wanted,
yes.
that's
you said fuck his history.
I don't care.
Fuck his antidote. Fuck his antidote and his cousin.
You know how when I feel like the game right now. Like, why was I not on that LA stage?
I feel you.
Right? And so I
definitely understand. Yes.
I do think just because, like, it's also promotion, right? And you're promoting your album, you're going to be promoting your tour. You want people to come to your residency. Why not highlight other Puerto Rican folks, I think about how like Kendrick Lamar, I forgot the lady who was singing in Lefty Gunplay. How we like you also put people on sometimes at when you're at these like pinnacles of success, and so like what would that have looked like for a Bad Bunny? But again, it may have been like he picked a Don Omar, and they're like, well, why not Carol? So I think I could understand like the like who do you pick and how?
Right, and to your point, when people started to tweet that the little boy that he gave the Grammy to was Liam, the 5-year-old that was picked up and arrested by ICE. I immediately was like, I was like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then we found out that wasn't the case. Like that was false news. It was actually a young child actor named Lincoln Fox. And that was meant to represent like a young Bad Bunny. So again, I think if that is that young ICE child, that is like an overtly political thing. And he did not make an overtly political act. But
I just don't want to get it.
Yeah, I think we will argue like, I was having a conversation with somebody on Instagram, and it's like, the context of it is, here is the NFL, which is a $1 billion nonprofit, right? So like you have to get permission to get on that stage. And I'm sure there were conversations about what he could and could not do. And there might have even been a conversation about like, hey, we might want to bring a white artist into this space because of this controversy and backlash. One of the owners actually came out and basically was saying like this was going to hurt the cost of their teams, like hurt the league in general. And we're about to throw all the league away. You mentioned people that were tight. Jake Paul. I mean, they both had said they were in protest. No. Jake Paul said he was in protest. Logan Paul actually retweeted his brother Jake Paul and said, I do not agree.
Oh, well, when they asked Logan Paul on the red carpet, are you watching he said, absolutely
are you sure?
Not.
Okay, so
no, he said,
I think they switched up because
I don't know. I can't tell the difference between these.
No. I think originally people thought that the protest was going to go forward and people were not going to like it. And then people like John bleeped me out. Bad Bunny's a bad bitch. Okay.
Yes.
People forgot about like Bad Bunny and how much he is a performer and how loved he is. I also want to talk about this moment really exposed our ignorance as a country and as a society, because people were like, oh my gosh, I don't know what he's saying. It's not closed captioning. Friend, if you go on your television or you go on your computer, all you got to do is turn on the closed captioning button and then you pick your language. And then you could have read and you could have known what he was saying because it's already put out to live stream. He already has like his lyrics out there, and then they're already typing in closed caption, right? Yeah. So it was very ignorant for people to be like, oh, I don't know what he's saying, number one.
And then two, right, they could go turn on that Kid Rock bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You had a choice.
I felt like, what was it, Babbel and Duolingo missed the prime opportunity to really connect.
But they might not be able to do that. Like the NFL might have said, "No, you ain't, you ain't eating off our shit."
But still, there's things you could have done. They missed the prime opportunity. And it goes to my third point, because there is a group of people who are like, I call them the Speak English Coalition of the Inbred States of America, right? And they are like, oh my gosh, why can't you speak English? All this type of things. You've known for almost, 6 months plus that Bad Bunny was going to be the performer. You've had 6 months plus time to know what his top 10 hits were. And you did not Google. You did not try to go a little Duolingo. You did not try to watch a little Telenova, to know what he was saying, to sing the song.
He told you had 6 months to learn Spanish.
And you did nothing.
Yeah.
But then you want to tell other people who come here because we're bombing their countries or putting tariffs or like closing their borders or like trying to kill them like Cuba, that they need to speak English when they're trying to be here to survive. And you had the luxury of having time, opportunity to learn a language, and you didn't. I just want you to understand that.
Yes. I'm sorry. Understand that.
But I also wanted DTMF. I wanted no longer. That was my one gripe, because I waited to watch this because I just knew like DTMF was going to go off. And then they ruined it at the very end because they got all excited and they started jumping and they lost their cue. And I was so mad.
Yeah, I was also mad at the shortened Monaco, which is my favorite Bad Bunny song. Farouk, your take?
I mean, I don't know what more you want me to say outside of what you lot said. I think that it was. I thought it was dope, man. I think the just the little subtle nuances that Benito did were cool. I think as a person who is multilingual, I appreciated it.
Yes.
I think a lot of other people who have kind of like the antithesis of everything that Miracle was just saying, that people who do live a multicultural, multilingual life felt probably very heard in a moment where it was like, okay, we have arguably the largest entertainer in the world right now,
right.
On one of the largest stages, making that type of an impactful moment for us. I think it was cool and you didn't have to be like, I seen Black Threads was like, yo, we don't gotta speak Spanish, we going up, like we turning up,
yeah,
like this is a party right now.
Yeah, but again, there's the music has African, as all music has African roots. I think another thing, part of it is that one of the things that Jay-Z has been the curator of these halftime shows, and one of the things it's showing is that Black and brown people run the culture.
That's just what it is, man.
And I think that like makes white people feel a certain type of way because it's really being put in their face. Like Black and brown people run music, run the culture. We're the cultural metronome.
We don't own it though, and which is that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Because at the end of the day, the NFL is making that big bang. Now, one person that did have an issue with the Super Bowl,
was President Donald Trump.
Yeah, and it's funny because what this showed is one, Donald Trump did not watch.
Nah, and they had video. Shit. They had video of him at his fete.
Yeah, they had at Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
Yes, at the golf course. They did not play the TPUS,
the toilet paper USA. They had
because
Benito.
Why would they? I mean, who the fuck wants to see? Like who wants to see that?
Nobody.
Chris Rock and a bunch of no names. Did you want to read what Donald Trump wrote?
Yeah, he said the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It's an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying.
Nobody.
And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children. Listen, sir, amidst all the things that are circulating about you right now, that's the wrong thing for you to say.
One person not protecting young children in this moment is Donald Trump.
Right. So he said the dancing is disgusting, especially for the young children that are watching throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face. You didn't need the extra quotations, but whatever. To our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history.
False.
Yeah. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show. It will get great reviews by the fake news media because they haven't got a word of what's going on. They haven't got a clue what's going on in the real world. And, by the way, the NFL should immediately replace this ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again, President Donald. Why does he always sign his statements like a tweet or like a letter?
Because he wants you to know it was him.
Yeah. Again, I think that this is how white supremacy shows up. To say nobody understood, nobody, like, is to completely erase any Spanish-speaking person that exists in the United States. But that's what you want to do. They want to they're trying right now to erase every Spanish-speaking person in the United States.
This is what I don't get, and I've said this a few times on the show when people be upset at this whole bilingualism. Right?
Yes.
Every single developed nation in the world, as America defines it, is a multilingual place.
Yes.
They have recognized official languages other than what is the predominant language spoken.
Correct.
With the exception of Japan.
Yes.
Right? That's a different story entirely. But when it comes to English and Spanish, and your preference for the two of them, whether it's an accessibility need, whether it's on your software, your hardware, whatever, whether you're phoning in, we're not asking you to press 9 for English. You can press 1 for English.
Yes.
It's still the primary option.
Yeah. And again, like English, America does not have an official language.
There's no official recognized language in any form of legislation.
Right. And I remember, I can't speak to it today, but when I went to high school,
right,
you learned a language.
You had an elective.
And
it's
it was
either French, German, Spanish, Or maybe some other shit.
It wasn't German in my high school. In my high school, it was Spanish or French. I'm just saying. And, I chose Spanish. So it's like the idea, but it was like high school wanted to teach you about other cultures, right? If you know other languages, you actually can be more of an asset even on the job market, even anything. So the idea of we take from so many different cultures. Are you doing yoga? We just
don't get me started on that.
We take from so many different cultures, and then you could call it American, but that's not what it is, right?
No.
So the idea that this is an American thing when we take from all of these other countries and places, including when you talk about fried chicken, that's a black experience. Again, there's so much that we can say about this, but it boils down to what Donald Trump is doing and has done from the beginning was run on a platform of white supremacy and really talking to these, what did you call them, Miracle? That was mad disrespectful.
Middle American inbreds?
She said something like that. But talking to these,
I don't recall.
It was mad disrespectful. But talking,
I don't recall.
Right. But talking directly to these disaffected white people that somehow, if a guy at the halftime show speaks Spanish, that they're somehow going to replace you and you're going to lose all of your place in this country. And I say that to say that from the when we plug in the mics on episode number 1,
Uno,
and we're at 200 and something, right?
Dos.
Episode number 1, right? Uno, we said from the beginning, right? We declared that Donald Trump was a racist and a white supremacist. Episode 1. And if you go to our Facebook page, it seems like for whatever reason, white supremacists and racists love Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, not so, probably because they don't have any good pictures themselves, probably because they're ugly.
It's all fake accounts.
Right. But so if you go, from the beginning, people, again, up until now, were defending Donald Trump as not being racist. Oh, he's not a racist. Oh, he's not a racist. Oh, he's not a racist. And then during Black History Month, Donald Trump posted a video on his account.
Jesus Christ.
And that video showed Barak and Michelle Obama as monkeys.
We're not going to show that video. We're not going to highlight nothing like that.
Right. Well, if we show the clip, there is a clip of it in that clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we didn't need that.
No.
We didn't need Donald Trump posting a video of the Obamas as apes as proof of his racism. And, I guess maybe that's something Tim Scott needed. Tim Scott was probably the most prominent, black Republican that asked Donald Trump to take the video down.
It's crazy. That's where he draws the line. That was Tim Scott's proverbial line in the sand.
Because to us,
I wonder if he drew that line in the sand with his teeth.
Why would you, don't start? No. We're not starting. We are not starting. We are not starting.
That's funny.
Continue your point.
Because we understand that the truly harmful aspects, and I want people to really listen. The truly harmful aspects of white supremacy and racism are the systematic aspects, right? That how ICE is being deployed to specifically attack brown and black immigrants is systematic racism at a level that is far more harmful than a picture of the Obamas, right? We understand that. We saw from the beginning the shithole countries and all these different things, but really the policies of the Trump administration to us reinforced his white supremacy. But I guess some of y'all needed, it's like but you need this man to come out and say, I hate niggas.
But there were still people who were pushing back and defending it. Like, he didn't post it.
Because
he
they
took
also
it down.
hate
No, he did post it. He said he posted it.
I'm just telling you that these were people. Oh, Trump didn't post it. He didn't create the video. He didn't. They were doing everything they could to shoot him bail in this situation.
Hey, Farouk, if Trump came out and said, I have a press conference, in this press conference, I just want to say, I hate niggas.
And someone would say, they would pull up the Chris Rock joke, and they'd be like, oh, well, he's not talking about black people. He's talking about niggers.
Oh, wow.
I
never even thought about that.
That's where they would go with that. They would try to do everything they could to shoot him bail for this.
Absolutely. And the wild part
you would get some of them black MAGA niggas
who be like, I hate them too.
Yep.
You know,
1000%.
you know who you are, you old wrinkly man that somebody see like a raisin.
Yes.
You know who you are.
Yep.
And the wild part was like, it would be different.
Somebody said never mind.
It would be different if like Trump actually apologized.
I gotta find that tweet.
He didn't even apologize.
Nah.
Like Donald Trump didn't even apologize for this. They were like, oh, it's a staffer. And then he was like, oh, why should I apologize? I didn't make the mistake.
He said, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
That was a direct quote. They caught him on a hot mic and he said, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Do you want to play the Donald Trump, I'm not racist, combined with all of his racism clip?
Oh, man.
And then we could, we'll hear from Miracle on this.
Racist president you've had in a long time.
Truth Social posted the Obamas as apes.
I'm the least racist person in this room.
Trump Management Company systematically refused to rent to black people.
I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists.
The history was removed this afternoon by the federal government. Crews dismantled plaques telling the stories of the 9 enslaved people.
President Trump told reporters he believed that civil rights protections were discriminatory to white men.
His mother was a U.S. citizen born in Kansas. Was he a natural born citizen?
Who knows? I don't want him in our country, I'll be honest with you. Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care.
I mean, again,
I don't know how much more convincing you black MAGA niggas need. Like,
well, why are we trying to give? They are at where. Listen, this is one thing you need to understand.
You're right, Miracle.
Like you know how when you see extremely progressive white woman with a racist white man,
yes,
and people, I hope she's okay. She is at where she wants to be.
You are 1000% correct.
People are at where they want to be because they want to be the 1%. They want to be the person like in the room who gets the phone call and who gets to laugh at other blacks. They think they're the good black or the chosen black.
Mm-hmm.
These people are not going to switch up sides. You even saw how even Tim Scott was like, I hope it's a fake video. Bro, you have the link. You know it's real, right? You instead of, because you know you can't say, hey, bro, this is wrong. You can look, I hope it was a mistake. I hope this was something that was supposed to be in like the chat that wasn't supposed to be made public, right? You can't just be like, bruh, too far. These people are at where they want to be at.
Yeah, right.
They are not trying to be in the black liberation theology side. These people have internalized white supremacy and they just want to be the colonizers and the oppressors. They look at power as a mirror and an aspiration and not something to dismantle.
And I would argue they hate themselves too. So as much as these white supremacists hate them, they hate themselves as well. I mean, think about this, right? And we, in that clip, it talked about in Philadelphia, the park administration removing the plaque around slavery. It says the National Park Service has removed visitor brochures from the Medgar and Myrlie Evers Home National Monument. Among the anticipated changes is no longer calling the murderer of Medgar Evers a racist in the brochure, even though the murderer was a Ku Klux Klanman. So again, this is wherever Tim Scott is, and a lot of times they won't answer these direct questions.
Right.
Saying to you, again, you're a black man from the South, right? They're going to say a Ku Klux Klanman is not racist. So what are we saying? So
he's a misunderstood person who, I don't even know how you spin it, bro. I tried.
Right. There's no way to spin it because right, and that's what I'm saying. What Trump is doing, and we've talked about it over the last few weeks, is he is destroying any argument that you can make of him being a good person, leader, president, whatever. He's destroying all that. So like you can't now say, oh no, he's not. I mean, you can, but it's like what the evidence in the face of your argument.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Is so overwhelming. I mean, you just had this conversation around, people are really getting and looking deeply into these Epstein files, right? And they're seeing that there were files that specifically talked about violent crimes against children.
Mm-hmm.
And the person's email address who were making these claims were blacked out. So people are saying, why are these people who are in the Epstein files emailing Jeffrey Epstein describing actual crimes against children? Why are their names blocked out?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they being protected? So then a Republican congressperson and a Democratic congressperson actually went to look at these files and said there were 6 to 7 people that are in these files admitting to crimes against children
Mm-hmm.
that are being protected by the Trump administration, and they don't even know why, who these people are or why they're being protected. So remember, where are the children, the Republican children protectors? Where did you all go? Where are you? And why? So this is why again, we saw Ghislaine Maxwell get moved to a meet with Trump's lawyer.
Yeah.
It'd be like, this isn't like some, like conspiracy thing where we got to go digging on some dark website. We watched Ghislaine Maxwell meet with Trump's lawyer and then her prison get better.
Yeah, she's in Club Fed right now.
In a better prison.
They said she's doing like a dog rehab thing.
Right,
she's playing with dogs. Yeah.
Right, with way more freedom than she had previously.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what can you say to that? What can you say?
Yeah.
Do you all have any, I guess, on the new Epstein evidence?
Go ahead.
I saw a story yesterday where they were saying now the youngest identified child may be around the age of like 9 years old.
Oh my days, astaghfirullah.
And so I don't know what we are doing here. We have now realized that they're girls and boys under the age of 15, right?
Yes.
Because at first we were told, oh, it's just like 15 and 16-year-olds. Then we were told, oh, it was just women who are 18 and 19. And now we're getting stories of 9-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds.
Right.
So I do not know what we are doing at this moment in time where we fully understand that the elite, the rich, the well-connected and privileged people who are running our country, who are making our laws, who are literally putting our friends and loved ones in prison, stealing homes, stealing land, poisoning our land, air, and water, are people who are in trafficking children, who knew that their friends were in trafficking children. I don't understand what we are doing. I don't understand why we think that, like, if we just follow the processes and the procedures that we're going to possibly have, justice, when now we know Attorney Merrick Garland had these files 5 years ago and did nothing with it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know what we are doing, because in my mind, that was put him in the Hague, put him in the prisons.
Absolutely.
Because he could have brought charges.
Right.
We're talking about trafficking of children.
Yeah.
We're talking about holding images of sexual acts with children and minors, crimes, federal crimes. I don't even know what we're doing, and I get very frustrated that people are just the people who are the loudest in the room about, like, Pizzagate and all this type of stuff. Now it's their guy that was doing this. Now they're silent. F Trump, F Clinton, I don't care. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, I don't care who it is.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, if you were aware that someone was out here being a pedo, F you too.
Absolutely.
Like, get them all out.
We're not cultists. Like, we're not somebody that's like slavishly devoted to one party or another.
Yeah.
So and obviously we watch the show. We've had mad critique for everybody, right? So we're not that. So of course, obviously, when it comes to protecting children, we want everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, I have not read any of the files because, I'm going to be very transparent here. as someone who is what my therapist called a sexual trauma survivor,
right?
I don't want to go and just look at what like.
Absolutely,
it's not something I'm interested. I know this shit is bad.
Yes,
I don't need to read it to know how much worse it could get.
Right.
I use my imagination, but I think it's interesting because like you have said this before. I think one of the most profound statements I've ever heard you make out of the litany that you've made was when you drew attention about Sandy Hook, that if all these white children being murdered wasn't going to elicit gun reform,
right,
nothing would. Right. It was never about sexual assault victims. It was never about protecting children's rights. It was never about protecting children, because if that were the case, these things would have never came to fruition, right? Or there would have been penalties immediately.
Absolutely.
Swift and harsh penalties immediately. What is I think like what the thing is people are afraid of the political regime shift that the Epstein files are going to bring about.
Right.
That's where the protectorate is coming from all these people that have the fake outrage.
Hey man, there was this video where this lady was like, her argument was, oh, if you were somebody that was powerful at the time, then you were in these files.
Yeah.
She basically was like, yeah, if you weren't in the Epstein files, you're a loser. That's actually what she said.
And I'm sure
because people are justifying. I think this is, and I said this before, that when Trump said grab him by the, that's what got him elected.
Yes.
Because a lot of these people are whack ass incels who have no play, who have no power, who can't even get, a phone number on their best day, and they want to become rich and famous. Not because they want to be rich and famous and be on airplanes and beaches, because they want to be able to other people and harm other people. And that's what's attracting them to power. So yes, these pick-me-ass bitches are out here like, oh my gosh, if you're not in the Epstein files, I don't want you. The same people who are defending R. Kelly, the same people who are defending Diddy, right? The same people who are laughing at violence because they want to be themselves predators and harm people. And I don't think we call these freaky-ass people freaks enough and weirdos enough, right? I think about how like when from Minneapolis, when Tim Walz was like, these people are weirdos, and they're like, don't call them weirdos. And now we know why, because y'all were out here running with people in the Epstein files. Like, I think we have to call a spade and realize that a lot of these people are creeps, are weirdos, are predators, and they are protected by other folks who don't think it's a problem, right? We really think that, okay, like it's the same people who said, oh, okay, yeah, in the Epstein files, but now the victims get to sue. These people don't want to get rich. They want to not be harmed.
Exactly.
Right. And I think as survivors,
they want justice.
Right. We're so used to people being like, oh, this bad thing happened to you. But it's like, it's just like a thorn in your side. It's the thing you had to go through. No, we don't. It's not normal. And the way to get people to understand this violence and trauma is not normal is to call it out, is to reject it, and to be like, that should not be happening. I think that like Epstein, I think Trump, I think, whoever's in these files, it's not enough just to name them. I feel like the government should take all of their money, take all of their property, and should formally like redistribute it. Because if I have to tell you that the child is wrong and you're not going to do anything, but if I tell you a child is wrong, and now if you do that, we're going to take everything you own, that's going to make you stop, right? If Elon realizes he's about to lose X, he's going to lose Tesla, he's going to lose all this type of stuff because he did, allegedly these things, that's going to fix anything more than me being, oh, this is immoral and wrong. Like, you got to hit them where it hurts in their pockets.
It is wild that, like, they didn't want to hang out like that. Like Elon Musk was such a weirdo.
He's like, don't bring him.
Group of pedophiles who want to hang out with him. Like, and he's begging. He's like begging to be on the island, and they're like,
no. And your own father's accused of sexual violence. I just do not get it, because, and you realize, I think it was like, I might be saying it right, even Noam Chomsky, which is a lot of people have been like in my leftist circle, like losing their minds about. He was over here like talking about like how you rehabilitate. At no point was he like, don't touch girls no more.
Yeah.
Go get therapy help, my friend.
Right.
Here's the resource. Like, I've had friends who've been accused of sexual assault and sexual violence. And I've been like, this is some resources. You need help. You can't do that. You can't be around me if you're doing these things.
1,000%.
Y'all can't do that?
Yeah.
And you emailing a person who has a lot of times had already said, yeah, I did this shit. Like it's one thing when you're like shocked and surprised that you don't know, but this man is now, he's on the list.
Yeah.
He's now convicted.
You see him sitting with Steve Bannon after he was convicted of what he did. After, the woman who was the writer at Miami Herald put all that information out. After that, he's advising Steve Bannon on the whatever thing that they should do to get Trump elected, right? And him and Steve Bannon have this super close relationship, right? This is why, you sent the clip, Farouk, where Steve Bannon said, hey, if Democrats get elected, we're all going to jail, including me.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, Miracle, if these women, and again, these victims deserve the right to sue. They deserve the right to take this money from these pedophile, rapists, all those things. They deserve that and more. So the idea that, they just want, no, again, but you all said you wanted to drain the swamp.
This is now,
right. And now when it comes up, right? Now when we see the corruption and the crud and the dirt and the mud, now you don't want to you don't got no brush to clean that no more.
Yeah,
you don't care.
You're moving the goalposts. It's a very disturbing time because and I don't really like to give him all his props, but when he's right, he's right. A couple years ago, Dr. Umar had an interview on The Breakfast Club, and I believe this was his first interview on The Breakfast Club, where he said that eventually the DSM-5 was going to be rewrote to classify pedophilia as a mental illness. And it was talking about how there's going to be a changing of how people, specifically white people, react to pedophilia. And all the excuses they're going to make for it is going to be placing it into the DSM-5 as a mental illness. And I think that's just, it's crazy how accurate he was about this, because they're doing everything they can to defend all of these people who are perpetuating these vile, heinous acts against children.
Right.
And what's even more, as I say this just came to me as a trigger to thought. Like, all the people that watch Law and Order SVU to make this the number one fucking show in America for how many years are still not up in arms in the streets about the Epstein files. Just lets me know that you are not concerned with the well-being of children and the well-being of the people who are victims of these assaults, right? Like, if what are you watching Law and Order SVU for, right? For you to not be pushing back against this shit. That's what's crazy to me. It's like,
right,
the trauma aspect of it just must be as alluring as the actual Epstein files themselves.
It's just that you made this whole group, you made this whole QAnon group, right? That was in support of Trump, and the whole part of this QAnon group that was the reason they were supposedly invested in Donald Trump as a president was that he was going to go into Washington and expose all these pedophiles.
Right.
And it's like, but he was one. Again, you did all of this. Yeah, is one. You did all of this investigating on all of these other people, and then you skipped over this man who has more pictures and videos with Epstein than anybody else. And you tried to create this narrative that they weren't that cool and they weren't that friendly. And then every time something else gets released, it's more and more evidence about how close and how tight they were and how much shit that they done did together. And you still want to try to excuse, you want to try to hold everybody else accountable but him.
What's interesting about this, right, is there, like, the fact that Trump is even saying I wasn't that close to them, he's throwing them under the bus. It'd be like trying to say me and you ain't never been friends.
Yes. Right.
Like, we ain't got hundreds of pictures together, hundreds of episodes on TV together.
Crazy.
Like, how can you diss it? Like, we got the photos, we got the files.
Again, it's weird.
The nigga writing you handwritten birthday cards.
Yes.
Like,
it's weird when you like you go and do all, you make these like connections based on this really deep research, and it's like, oh, well, back in there, Bill Clinton did this and this person did this, and that's how they're connected, and you want to go after them, but the man that is in your face,
the nigga right here, what Mystical say? Like,
speaking of another weirdo, right?
God damn.
Right, the guy is with all types of pictures and videos, and you want to ignore the evidence in your face for all these other things. Again, you want to say, oh, Donald Trump's not racist, and then here comes a governor's dinner.
Yeah.
And the governor that's disinvited just happens to be the only sitting black governor in the United States, Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland. So again, it's like, oh, he's not racist. He just happens to not invite.
And when Wes Moore was asked about it, he said, yeah, I'm sure my race had to play the part.
Of course it does. Of course it, like, look at all, again, like, are we just going to ignore all this evidence? And this is where it comes to, like, you know, Donald Trump. So it's a couple of things, right? And the way a bully and a dictator and a fascist is able to consolidate power is that the people who he is trying to oppress and harm do not collectively stand together.
Correct.
So the question for other people is, what are these other Democrat governors going to do? Because we know why you see Wes Moore as a potential presidential candidate. You see him as somebody, he has publicly spoken out against your policies. You see him as, but also he is a black man. He's the only black man. You disinvite him. So because that's the question, you know, when I look at the state of journalism, when this man just, again, in your face disrespecting you, when this man can disrespect this woman journalist in your face and say, you tell her she needs to smile more.
Which is crazy.
When she's asking you about the Epstein files, when this woman is asking for your, and none of these other journalists say, wait a second.
Yeah.
If you're not going to respect all of us, then we're all not showing up. Right? We're going to pull our coverage from you because of your constant disrespect. They don't do that. And this is how he's allowed to get away with this. And so now they know, they don't even ask him no hard questions. He just did some NBC News because they know they can't even press this dude. And so they've decided, instead of being like, no, we're going to stand up for our principles and what we believe in, they decide to say, no, we're just going to softball this dude and let this dude run over him. And then that emboldens him. And then we get more and more fascist, dictator, bully policies.
It would even, if you're looking at this a purely ratings metric, it would probably do even better for your ratings if you did challenge him, because then you would be the person who challenged him on TV and got him to get out of a character, raise his voice. It would make for more entertaining television if we're just going from that specific angle, right?
But if you really say you stand for these principles, right, that are the basis of what you say journalism and press is.
We're far past morality.
I'm just saying.
We're far past that.
And you don't stand up for your colleague.
Right.
You don't say, we're not going to allow collectively.
Is that not evidence of the capitalist society that we're in, though, and the fascist society that we're in?
And it's also evidence of the lack of, like, you can't then come to me and lecture me on journalism and standards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, so it makes me look at you all and say, oh, y'all are, again, this is how Adolf Hitler is able to come to power. Because instead of you looking at how this affects the whole, you're looking, these journalists is like, oh, well, I still want to be here and I want this job and I want this paycheck. So if I stand with my colleague, I could lose that.
Yeah.
I could lose those things.
Which is a valid fear, but like you said.
But also, this is that capitalist thing, right? I might lose my paycheck, and so I'm not going to stand. And we've seen this happen progressively. I see Miracle with a smile. We've seen this happen. Miracle's like a chapter one.
Yeah.
Miracle's like a chapter one 2 years ago when they were telling people you couldn't say anything positive about Palestine.
Yeah.
and making these people not have jobs. This is where we are. So again, at some point, if we don't collectively stand up, then we are just gonna, again, there won't be a midterm election. There won't be an election in 2028. Why are you building all these things? You don't plan to leave. This is why. You know, I mean,
you do all of that, and then the cold gonna take him out.
Right.
Like,
and the last thing I'll say is, like, remember when, like, I don't understand, how do you go from, like, it was supposedly this big conspiracy, oh, Joe Biden is trying to do this, Joe Biden. I mean, Trump is openly saying, I don't want to meet with any Democratic governors. I only want to include Republican governors. So, like, Republican or MAGA people that are in states that are Democratic states, he's taking resources away from you because of where you live.
Mhm.
Like, and to if you're okay with these things, then you're basically saying, I don't want any rights that's not granted to me by this man.
Right.
And I'm going to take anything he gives me. It's just, it's mind boggling. Miracle.
What I was going to say is like, yes, I think people have to understand that. And I learned this in law school. My professor said, whenever the government wants to do something, it is always going to be the worst, most vile person that they are going to use.
Oh.
So that it's going to sanitize and make you not fight back, right?
Oh.
So when we talk about social media regulations, it wasn't like, oh, you can't be on social media. It was, well, we need to regulate child predators and people who are children. So therefore, we got to, regulate social media and communications. When it was your bank, it was, September 11th happened. So you can't have the right to privacy anymore because we need to find terrorists. Oh, you don't want to support the Patriot Act? Are you a terrorist supporter? Right? When it turned to like this recent, iteration of, oh, you don't want this to happen? Are you a Hamas supporter? Right? It's always these things. And then you get like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not this. And the next thing you know, you can't go outside. You can't protest. You can't write, an op-ed. And it was like, because you didn't speak out first. So I think that's why that first they came for. Like my favorite quote was like, first they came for so-and-so and I shut up because I read the rest of the fucking poem. It's like, you understand, okay, we understand this now. This is the tactic and this is how we have to mobilize and respond back. And I will say I was pleasantly surprised because when Governor Moore was like, I've been disinvited, you kind of saw the other Democrats be like, well, if he's not going, I don't want to go.
Right.
Which in the past, you wouldn't have seen that. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, I will go and I'm going to represent and I'm going to tell them why they were wrong for disinviting him.
Right.
Now we see like collectively people are not going.
Right.
And then when that happens, people are now delegitimized. It's like, oh, we have a little bit of power here. We could be this is what it means to fight back. So we're in that waking up moment of like, okay, we do have to collectively show up. But we're in this moment of like, we also have to like build solidarity and engage and organize. And what does that also look like? What is, which is like the hardest part. But it's like, yes, this man is racist. And we now see that he was able to build his empire off of holding people's secrets and being like, I'm racist, but I'm racist, but you over here diddling children. Let's link up. And we see that now. And we understand that is the American, apparently pathway to success. So how do we build something different? And how do we build something, better where people don't have to get harmed in order for people to make a profit?
Yeah. It's crazy because like I had put this up. I was watching James Bond all last week, or the Daniel Craig Bond.
Yes.
America is a Bond villain.
Definitely.
Like America is full stop.
Yes.
And like when you thought America couldn't be more evil,
like
wait till tomorrow. Wait until we have in store to show you tomorrow. Like it's just crazy how much more fucking ridiculous this country can be. Like every day there's something new. Oh, you thought us killing these people was bad. Wait till we kill the children.
Right.
Wait till we don't reprimand anybody for molesting children.
Yeah.
Well, wait till we, who knows what's next? It's just, bro, like we really are in the stupidest timeline.
Yeah.
I hate Earth so bad.
But it's kind of like a thing of, to me, because it's exposing the hypocrisy of all of these people. They said, Trump told people in the mid 2000s, everybody has known about Epstein's misconduct.
Yeah.
To I'm not everybody, but still.
No, to Miracle's point. They knew about it. Nobody tried to get that man no help.
Mm-hmm.
No one tried to say, police come get this man, because he was a powerful, rich white person. So to me, it's almost like this thing of like, okay, it's like Trump is really a retribution for that Bond villain, right?
Yeah.
Because Trump comes in and he is everything we've always told you what America was.
Right.
And we've been saying, particularly as black people in America, that this is what America is. America is inherently a white supremacist, racist, violent place towards us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is being exposed every single day. And it's being exposed in a way that is so clear and so in your face that you can't look away. If you do, it's like you're just totally just ignoring the reality right in front of your face. I mean, everything this man said he was going to do, he did the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still high prices.
Yeah.
Still, they're saying now
he's done. Yeah.
They're saying now he wants to build a 250-foot arc. Right? He's not.
Wait. Like St. Louis Ark or Noah's Ark?
It's like an arc, like St. Louis Ark, right?
Okay.
It's an arch. I'm sorry, I said an arch.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I'm like, wait, what?
President Donald Trump wants to build an arch, and he wants it to be the biggest in the world.
Okay.
And they said he's going to sign an executive order for construction. So remember, this is $500 million on the White House rebuilding, right?
Whatever, yeah.
Right. $200 to $400 million on the new Kennedy Center. And now he's saying he wants to build the biggest arch in the world, which will probably be hundreds of millions of dollars. Where them checks at? Remember, y'all thought
the 1776 checks?
Y'all thought he was going to send y'all some checks? Like, so obviously he has money. They're saying Trump right now, has a lawsuit against the United States.
Yeah.
For
the IRS,
for $10 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They asked the Treasury guy, hey, if he wins this lawsuit, who is going to pay for this $10 billion? He said, is it going to be the taxpayers? Trump's Treasury Secretary said, yes.
Of course he did.
So again, but because he is a white supremacist, you don't care what he does. So you're going to allow this man to destroy this country in your face because you would rather have white supremacy over life. Like you would rather have white supremacy over just having food in a full refrigerator and a good job.
I mean,
you would rather cheer on this man as he literally he's raiding the actual public money, government money, and put it in his own pocket right in your face.
Jonathan Metzel's book, Dying of Whiteness.
Man, yes. Oh my God. So with that being said, do we have a book?
I just said the book earlier in the show.
Oh, what's our book?
It was The War on All Puerto Ricans.
Okay, but we don't have the physical copy of it.
No, but we have it in our minds.
Okay, so just run that back again. So those white pages, so we can share that, because to me that's a really interesting book that I'd be interested in reading.
Yes, The War Against All Puerto Ricans by what was it? The Nelson Antonio Dennis.
Okay, gotcha.
The War Against All Puerto Ricans: Revolution and Terror in America's Colony came out in 2015.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be a great book to read. It was interesting. I did, some of the commentary about Bad Bunny's show, gay liberal halftime show, and it's just Bad Bunny singing surrounded by the baddest women on earth.
So the best comment I seen on all social media was, I've never heard any Bad Bunny songs from a nigga who never be around bad bitches.
I like mad about Bad Bunny singing in Spanish while eating chips, salsa, and guac. It's kind of wild.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Going to the countries that he talking about is crazy. And you upset at them. Like, that's what I don't get.
I literally saw someone who just got back from Puerto Rico talking about, I just don't understand why he was singing in Spanish. What?
Why the fuck did you go to Puerto Rico then?
What?
Like,
so again,
first of all, no. But I do think that there is a fear, right? And I think that part of that is the fear of understanding, like, our country has not prepared us for globalism. And I think that
that's a great point.
Have to be very honest about that. We look at some of these other countries and they speak 2, 3, 4 languages. Our country has not prepared us for the world as it is.
Not at all.
And one of the things I think that Bad Bunny exposed to a lot of people is like, oh, America's pretty large.
Yeah.
And we really do not even understand that other Americans exist.
When I went to Germany, that was the biggest shock. I remember when I went to Germany, everybody spoke perfect English. And I was like, damn, I felt dumb. I felt like, damn, I don't know another language. And everybody there spoke and I was like, yo, kind of like you said, we aren't ready for.
I'm going to excuse myself from this conversation.
Just on a business mind. I mean, you know multiple languages. Shout out to you. Shout out to your international.
But that's a great point because both of us, well, all three of us are very well traveled individuals. Right. We've been places. And I think that that's really the part is like America is not prepared to be a global country.
No.
In any sense of the imagination. No. Like, especially with this conversation about American isolationism that Trump is putting forth. You're not ready for the world.
No. And so just for us, at One Hood, we're always working in our community. We're always working in solidarity, particularly with, our community, our undocumented community. We have an event coming up on February 17th. If you are in Pittsburgh, a conversation with Congresswoman Summer Lee and Chinjaraj Kumanyika. If you watch the show, you've seen Chinjaraj on our show.
Yeah.
He's a professor at NYU, and he's also an award-winning podcaster.
Peabody Award-winning.
Yes, and award-winning. His recent podcast, Empire City, The Untold Story of the NYPD, has won Signal Awards and Best Podcast of the Year, and he's consistently doing that type of work. So
they need to give him a Pulitzer for the work he's doing.
It's probably coming.
It probably is.
He just was named a USA Artist Fellow. So he is doing very well in that space. So it's going to be a dope conversation. We're also going to be partnering with other organizations. We're going to have breakout sessions. We're going to have best practices and strategies to combat what we're seeing happening around policing at a federal and a local and state level. So that will be right here at One Hood. February 17th at 6 p.m. We have an event tonight. Miracle is going to, but by the time you watch this, that'll be over. Miracle Civic Cipher. And so maybe we can we're probably not going to be able to take a break because it is Black History Month, February. We're going to be doing something. We're going to be at Pitt on the 23rd, but that's going to be a classroom. So we're doing a bunch of stuff for Black History Month. So, shout out to us. And I don't want to, almost said any Valentine's Day plans, but we will skip that. Any final words? Is there anything else that we got going on, Miracle? Because sometimes we have a
lot of stuff happening. But I think again, right now is the point of just be there for your community, to show up, to engage.
Yes.
If you have some extra dollars, donate to One Hood.
Definitely.
We have a lot of things like coming up, and like we said, we don't know what the world's going to look like this week or next week. Every day is like a surprise, right?
Yeah.
It's like the spinoff we never asked for. But here we are. And so just to show up, keep showing up for your neighbors, keep organizing, feed people, all type of stuff. Just ask people what they need, say hi to folks. It's just like very, high stress time for a lot of people. So just, try to be a good neighbor.
Yes. This February 14th, show the hood love.
Show the hood love.
Show the hood love.
Donate to community care in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My brother. You got your red on? Are you ready for the?
Let's go Canada.
For the break hearts. The red and black.
And then next week, Ramadan.
Yeah, we're going from dates to dates.
And we about to be better people.
We're going to do our best. With that being said, peace, y'all. One Hood.